Hello people of YouTube, it's Deepak here, and welcome to the DCS news for the 6th of August 2022. Welcome to the stream, and I hope you enjoyed that first video poking at the different community mods that are available out there. The A29B Super Tucano, which is quite a nice community mod there. Like I said, fantastic avionics, really detailed cockpit. Could probably use some work in the flight model, but it's perfectly serviceable and a lot of fun to fly. Welcome to the stream, Stormkin Barry. Welcome Tog. Welcome Fair. Welcome James. Welcome David. Welcome Sim. Welcome Patrick. Welcome Tech Gaming 45. Welcome Ilushka, sorry. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the stream. It's good to have you all aboard. So yeah, I'm going to do some more of those. Suggestions were coming through for ones that people would like to see. I'm definitely going to do the A4, which was requested. The A4 is a really nice one, and it's one of the few that I've seen that actually has an EFM. It has a full, complex external flight model, so that's pretty cool. Welcome to the stream, Echo. But I would also like to cover the C-130, the Black Shark, and anything else that I can find, really. These are all really very cool. It's nice to see the community is creating these free mods for the game. So, no dotChuckles with us tonight, sadly. He's feeling fine, he is better. He just has other things. He had a prior arrangement, so sadly he can't join us tonight. Welcome, Alienware PC. So, you're stuck with just me, I'm afraid. I hope that's okay. Oh, hello, hi. I would love to say your name, but I'm afraid I don't recognise what that says. I'm guessing it's something in Hebrew. Welcome, Colin. Black Hawk Heli, asks Patrick. Yes, yes. There is a free Black Hawk helicopter module. Dive toss video just released by Wags for the Viper. Yep, actually, I saw that just as I was doing my final prep for the stream. I saw that and I put it into my notes. So we will be taking a look at that tonight. Clint S. Scooter, best girl. Yep, the A4. Leo, hello. Really excited about that feature, says Echo. Oh, yes, yes. Like, actually, the thing is, the dive toss has been in the sim for a little while, you know, like matter of weeks or maybe a month or two, but it's not been correct until now, so it's not really been usable. A whole bunch of the symbology was missing. So this is them actually getting it working correctly. So, as always, let's dive into the Eagle Dynamics newsletter and see what's been happening this week. That's not the right button. That's the right button. Ha! I'm so used to flipping to the screen where I speak to Chuck, but he's not here tonight. So, dear fighter pilots, partners, and friends, this is a big one. I didn't know anything about this. It is with great enthusiasm that we announce the latest planned addition to our aircraft lineup, DCS Kfir, by third-party developer Aviron. To create more realistic battlefields, we're working on a broader range of infantry animations that will prove vital when moving through uneven ground and settlements. This will be in parallel with improved pathfinding. We're also excited to share the substantial improvements coming to the AI-only B1b Lancer. Please note the textures are still work in progress. And then they tell us to go and have a little look at the development screenshots. Woohoo! Alienware PC, did you get your feet wet with the F1? No, I've not flown the F1 yet. But, you know what? I'm going to buy it tomorrow. And I'll start flying it. Stiggy Wiggy, nice to see the M2000C now has a new bomb that you can drop from altitude. Huh, I didn't know that. And Tog, that is indeed not a tornado. In fact, it's kind of a Mirage 5, but better. So first, let's take a look at the B1b Lancer Pictures, as instructed by Eagle Dynamics. These are looking rather nice, nicely textured bits and bobs on the B1b. This is one of the older models, so it's nice to see this getting some love. And a very important and interesting aircraft, so very, very cool to see this in the game, all nicely updated. Can finally remake Iron Eagle properly. Nice one, yes. Hello, any news about the ARC 210? Asks Fighter Jets HQ. No, Eagle have not mentioned it for a long time. For anyone not familiar, that's the updated radio for the A10C. This was going to be part of the A10. The A10C Warthog 2 was supposed to include the ARC 210. It was never completed, and we still don't have it. And Eagle haven't even mentioned it recently. So, good question. Don't know. Some more shots of the underside of the B1b with some nice texturing. Look at all these wiring looms going through the bomb bays. Very nice to see. I saw it on the patch notes. What patch notes? Has there been a patch? Me and Chuck covered the patch notes that we'd seen last week. Maybe I missed it. Take a little look. Why can't we fly the B1b? Well, we need a whole crew. And then we've got a whole bunch of shots of the interior of the Kfir. These are looking quite nice. An interesting mix of kind of NATO-looking avionics, French avionics, and then stuff with some Hebrew characters on it as well. So quite a mix. It is, as I understand it, in effect, a upgraded version of the Mirage 5. Israel created this aircraft due to embargo and kind of weapons embargo problems they were having at the time, basically. So they decided to reverse engineer the entire Mirage 5 and even make it slightly better. So there you go. Looking very, very nice. And in fact, yes, these canards were added by the Israelis. This is not an original Mirage 5 feature. Stiggy Wiggy, patch released 2 days ago, I think. Ha! I did not notice that. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. Yep, here we go. There is... So the model... We don't have any exterior texturing as yet, but the model is looking very, very... This is a very cool aircraft, and it will open up the possibility to run a whole load of other scenarios, especially with the Syria map. So, very excited about this one. I saw in A10C2 note, ARC 210 is now in works. Is now in works? That doesn't... Yeah, that doesn't sound like it's delivered. So, I guess they're stating that they're actually working on it, which is great. I think it'd be really good to see that. The Kfir is an interesting choice, says Sim Taylor. I'm surprised that an Israeli aircraft would or even could be done due to security issues. Well, keep in mind the Kfir is no longer flown by the Israelis. They took it out of service at the end of the 1990s. So it has been more than 20 years since the Israelis flew this type. So I guess that would explain it. Would love to have a Block 60 Kfir. Wow. It's old tech, so I'm sure Israel doesn't care. Yeah, that's pretty much the case. So yeah, these are all the images that we have for it. Let's jump back into the newsletter. The Kfir is a single-engine, single-seat, multi-role, all-weather combat aircraft based on the Nesher Mirage 5 aircraft, but it is powered by the GE J79E engine, as I understand the engine from the F4. To accommodate the engine, extensive changes to the fuselage cooling, wing and canards were required to retain its excellent performance. It was given the designation Kfir. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Lion Cub in Hebrew. The Kfir received various upgrades and special modifications throughout its service. The Kfir entered Israeli Air Force service in the mid-70s, and it was used until the late 90s. It took part in the 1982 Peace for Galilee, Lebanon, where it carried out unescorted strike missions and received credit for shooting down a MiG-21 in a mixed dogfight with F-15As. An early version of the Kfir without the modified wing and canards, the Kfir C1, was leased to the US Navy and Marine Corps with the designation F-21A. It was used as an aggressor in various locations. The Kfir was also exported to Ecuador, Colombia and Sri Lanka, and is actively in use in the private US aggressor company ATAC. Aviron aims to bring the Kfir to DCS in the most realistic fashion possible. The DCS Kfir will simulate the external and internal systems and state-of-the-art flight dynamics based on aerodynamic research, CFD modelling and wind tunnel data. Very excited. Fighter Jets HQ, finally we're getting infantry improvements. We've already had some, but they kind of went under the radar. They didn't really show up in the change logs, but the infantry AI was already, as of about 6 months ago, acting in a much more intelligent fashion, and was even doing things like providing suppressive fire, and was moving in fire team elements and things like that. They've already done some tweaks. Fighter Jets HQ, hopefully multi-core and Vulcan come soon. Ho ho ho. There's been no news about that recently. I don't know when they're intending to bring that to us. I've actually seen the Kfir in real life. Very cool. Implied in their Discord, they're also doing F21 version for Red Air. Oh, that's cool. Stiggy Wiggy, the South African Cheetah C used a lot from the later Kfir tech. Mark S, good morning, welcome to the stream. Fair FM, the Block 60 has ASA radar and data link 16. That sounds very, very modern. Sim Taylor, any idea of instrument fit on the Kfir? Well, we have an image. The thing is, they've not given us a zoomable version of this image. Let's see, what can we glean from this? It looks kind of like we have an HSI and a radar scope, so this looks like a fairly old school setup. We do have a HUD. We have an armament control panel. So I would say this looks like something similar to an F5. This is not particularly modern avionics fit, I don't think. Would like to see the F111 Aardvark in DCS. Yeah, absolutely. Seconded. So, moving on, Infantry Animations. We're pleased to inform you that work is progressing on a range of infantry animations. In the above animation, you can see a work-in-progress animation of a soldier climbing to a higher surface. The new control system will allow units to behave in a more complex and realistic manner. It also requires the solution of applied problems, such as overcoming obstacles and improved pathfinding. In some cases, the unit can overcome a situation just by stepping over an obstacle. There are different types of such surfaces that can be up to 1 meter in difference. The second animation option is for higher obstacles of 1.5 to 2 meters. In this case, the unit will have to climb up the obstacle and then jump off the other side. So, yeah, basically they're implementing vaulting and other such movements. That's going to be kind of cool. I wonder if they're going to implement wading and things like that as well. You know, like lifting the rifle above the waterline and kind of walking through bodies of water like that. That would also be rather cool. Sticky Wiggy, that flight stick looks World War II. Yeah, it's not massively modern, no. Colin Kelly, I wonder if this will cause performance issues. Infantry Animations, that is. We already have a whole load of animations in the game for like the supercarrier crew, and the infantry already have animations, so I doubt it. It's not seemed to be a problem so far. Why are animations so hard for ED, asks James. I don't think they're hard, I just think they've never prioritized them until now. If you look at the supercarrier crew, they look really, really good. Very, very nicely motion captured crew animations there. And then the B1b Lancer. As part of our larger effort to improve older AI units, work is underway on texturing the new AI B1b model. Most of the rivets, screws, and aircraft skin sheets are already drawn. The aircraft is painted in standard USAF colours. Material surfaces have also been created. Next, the chassis niches, bomb bay, and cockpit will be painted. We will also apply dirt, dust, traces of aircraft wear, and identification marks, technical inscriptions. Thank you again for your passion and support. Stiggy Wiggy, because that's not what DCS is really. Yeah, I can imagine. It's not that they find it difficult, because they have done a good job with the supercarrier, I think. It's just not something they've ever really prioritised until now. So that's nice. Really, really cool. This one, like I said, the Kfir really took me by surprise. I didn't know anything about this. I've tried to look up the developer. Who's the developer again? Aviron. Can't find anything about them. I haven't found a website. I haven't found any mentions of them, so I assume that they're a newly formed flight sim development studio. Really don't know much about them at all, but hopefully we'll get to see some more detail on this during the course of its development. But very, very excited for this one. Kfir, it's an aircraft I was always aware of, but didn't know that much about. But you know, for the period in time, kind of 1970s, 1990s, and for conflicts on the Syria map, this is going to be quite cool. I think this will be very, very nice. So, very, very psyched for this. Next, we have an update on the Mirage F1. Aegis posted on the Eagle Dynamics forum this post here, just giving us a little update on what they're working on. Work in progress items for the Mirage F1 CE. Autopilot, implementation of the R and G modes, fixing oscillations in some regimes, mode logic, failures and tests overhaul, implementation of the S530F Supermatra. The S530D was used as a placeholder in some AI models. It will be replaced by the F variant. Full implementation of the intercom. This will enable communication with JTAC. Adjusting the adverse yaw behavior. Pedal, toe brake, and control stick animations will be updated. Implementation of miscellaneous armaments, including the CC420 external cannons, JL100, etc. Implementation of countermeasures and jamming pods, such as the Barracks and the FIMAT. The radar will get BZ short range mode, different detection ranges, and target visibility conditions in IC and HA modes. Radar noise, visual appearance in various modes. Elevation control in V1 mode for 7 and 15 nanometer nautical mile ranges. That would not be very far. Radar slaving of the IR missile seekers. The optical sight, radar-related symbology logic, relative velocity, range, and correct display sequence with the radar tracking a target. Gun sight is not correctly fed by the radar measured target distance yet. The RWR will get the addition of specific F1 RWR sounds. New pilot 3D model with new helmet, 3 variants. Improved external model textures. Cockpit panels texture overhaul, dark cockpit due to game lighting. Option to adjust the speed of the fuel selection dial. Okay. The flight manual has to be completed. New missions will be added over time. Main known issues of the Mirage F1 CE as of just now. Wrong number of flares at mission start, 14 instead of 15. Jettison of CLB-4 bombs when the infinite munitions are on. Does not stop bombs from respawning. R530 jettisons should eject the pylon as well. Interesting one. Clickable sounds of the shock cone and high sensitivity nose wheel steering not audible. Control stick switches, sounds not playing. First preset radio channel is tied in both radios and ME. Some liveries are inaccurate. AI flight model is underperforming. So they're going to work on all of these. Very, very nice. So yeah, nice to see Aegis continuing to work on the F1. It is a very new release, so I suspect we'll see a bunch of these patches soon. Stiggy Wiggy, hopefully one day we get crew refueling animations. Oh yes, like having the ground crew actually arm your aircraft and refuel would be super cool. Also, Aegis in the C101 implemented a physical GPU and actually gets connected to your aircraft if you request ground power. I would love to see other modules have that as well. Clint S, they were a mod team that went third party, if I read BN's posts in Discord right. Wonder if they will ever add the 4-bomb pod, says Stiggy Wiggy. Fair FM, you mean in the center fuselage pylon? Patrick, also super bright buttons. And Stiggy Wiggy, no, under the wing. We used them in South Africa. Nice. More bombs is always more good, of course. Next, we have an update from India Foxed Echo on the MB339. This was reported at Stormbirds. Ready to release. According to the latest from India Foxed Echo, provided to us in a new Facebook update, the MB339 is in good shape and is close to release. They report that they're submitting a new build to Eagle Dynamics that is a potential release candidate. Typically in software development, a release candidate will go through a serious round of testing to determine if it's in a releasable state. Excuse me, still have just the very end of my cough going on. The developers report that their intent is to release the MB339 in a fully released state with just 2 exceptions. The flight director will apparently not be functional at launch, and multi-crew will have a basic implementation, but will lack the state synchronization needed for full implementation. Release date is pending approval from Eagle Dynamics. New screenshots were also released showing off the module in its nearly released ready state. Stay tuned for more news. So here we go. Here are some beautiful pictures. Actually, wow, this actually does look really, really good. Yeah. Very nice reflections on the glass as well, somewhat reminiscent of the F14. These are details that dotChuckles was complaining about the F1, the Mirage F1, missing. That its dials were a little bit flat. These are way more 3D and have some nice reflectivity to them. Although I'm sure the F1 will get overhauled instruments over time. So yeah, I guess that's the front cockpit, and that's the back cockpit. Looks really, really nice. And quite a lot of, modern equipment in this aircraft as well, with regards to radio navigation and so on. There's an external shot, looking all super fancy. Very nice. Yeah. Looking forward to this. I am a big fan of training aircraft, of jet trainers in DCS in general. I think it's really cool to have these aircraft in the sim. The Italian in me is excited, says James. Well, I'm not Italian and I'm excited too. I think it looks really, really nice. Very much looking forward to this. Looks similar to the to an M2000 on the side panels. I guess, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, there's definitely something there. Cool. Alrighty, moving on. We also have a new Viper mini update from our man, Daddy Wags. All about TOS bombing. He released this video this week. I'm going to, as usual, play it without the audio, just in case I get copyright strikes. James, trainers are the best. L39, T45, MB339, A29. Yes, I do like them. They're a lot of fun to fly. And of course, many of them do have a light combat role as well, as I demonstrated today with the Super Tucano. Yeah, C101. I like the C101. So anyway, this video this week, Viper TOS bombing. We've had the DTOS mode in the aircraft for a short time, and this is actually demonstrating an update that's coming to the F-16 shortly, with updated symbology, where they will properly display all of the TOS bombing symbology, allowing you to correctly employ weapons in TOS bombing, which will be very, very cool. And he actually demonstrates all of this. If I fast forward just a little bit, here we go. We get to the point where he starts showing us how all of this works. We've got the range, the correct moving down. We're going to get the anticipation queue and the pull-up queues. It's actually displaying everything correctly now, and it's possible to actually properly do a TOS drop. Macca Smith, hey Deepak, checked out Virtual Summer Airfest 13th August. I'll be displaying the first... Oh, you deleted your message. Okay, I didn't even get to finish it. I was going to read that out for you. Did you maybe make a mistake in your message and you're typing it up again? I'm going to assume that's what you're doing. No problem, Macca. Once that pops up on my screen again, I'll read it out for you. So yeah, here Wags is explaining that we're about to hit the maximum TOS range, and at that point we're going to get the flashing circle, and then we need to pull up. We basically need to put the flight path marker on this wide, thin line that's coming up from below. So it's about to happen now. He's probably doing a bit more description about exactly what is about to happen, and then you basically just match your flight path marker with this wide, thin line that moves up from below. And once you hit your desired angle, I think in this case it was 30 degrees, the bombs will come off automatically. And of course, on the way up, you're going to want to absolutely make sure that you keep the flight path marker going right up the ASL, which is kind of tough, but you know, that's part of the inaccuracy of TOS bombing. You just need to do your best to maintain alignment. Let's see. Wags is going to unpause any moment now, and he's going to actually demonstrate this drop. And then Macca, I'll go ahead and read your message out. Come on, Wags. Show us the thing. Okay, I think it's... Yeah, there we go. Flash, flash, flash. Pull up. Get the flight path marker on the line. Coming up, coming up, coming up, coming up. Bombs away. That's how it's done. That's a TOS bomb delivery. So, Macca Smith, hey Deepak, check out Virtual Summer Airfest, 13th of August. I'll be displaying the first public showcase of the new Echo 19 Hornet sound mod, and I can tell you no one is ready for how good this sounds. And that's 1200 GMT plus 1. That sounds really good, Macca. Thank you for the shout out there. I'll take a peek at that. Is that the new Afghanistan map? Oh, good question. We haven't heard much about the Afghanistan map in a while. I didn't even bother to look. This is the thing. There's always something hidden in these videos. Could it be the Afghanistan map? I don't know. Could just as easily. Oh, Clint says Persian Gulf. Yep, I honestly don't know. So the next thing that he demonstrates is the DTOS mode of doing this, including actually a TOS delivery. So if we bump this forwards a little bit, actually I bumped too far forwards. Yeah, here we go. He slews the cursor off of the flight path marker to the area he wants. He does a TMS up. He gets his ASL, and he dives towards the target until he starts to get his cues. I'd bet it's NTTR, says Sim Taylor. Hard to say. To me, desert looks like desert. This could be Persian Gulf, NTTR, or Syria. I can't tell. Okay, follow your pull-up cue. Flash, flash, flash. Up we go. Up, 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 up. This time it's 35 degrees, I think he programmed it for. Bombs are away. And he's off. So this is really good to see because, we had sort of some of the symbology to allow us to do TOS bombing, but we were having to do so much of it kind of, like guesstimate, basically. And now we have all of the correct symbology, and it is possible to now properly do TOS bombing. Or at least it will be once the patch is released with this update. This is pre-release, of course. So, very nice to see this. And he's doing this with cluster munitions. This, of course, is a fairly inaccurate way to employ weapons. So you're going to want to use things like clusters, or you're going to want to dump an entire stick of bombs. That'd be the other way of doing it. Do a spread. Or have multiple aircraft attack the target from different angles, and you're just going to improve your probability of kill. The main thing with this, of course, is that it allows you to attack a target without overflying it and actually push out the range at which you can drop these bombs. So it's inaccurate, but it allows you to deliver unguided munitions in a fairly safe fashion. Patrick, I guess that you can have the WR button pressed during the pull-up. Yes, so that's what you're going to do, in fact. When you begin the pull-up, you push and hold pickle, and then the bombs are just going to come off. The pickle in a mode like this is effectively weapons release consent. So you're holding it to tell the computer, the weapons computer, that you consent to weapons release, but the computer will release the weapons at the correct moment. I wonder if you toss a JDAM, JSO. You can't toss a JSO because it's a glide weapon. If you tried to toss it, you would almost certainly cause it to tumble and become unstable. JDAM, however, yes, you could absolutely toss a JDAM. And because it's a GPS-guided weapon, you wouldn't have any loss of accuracy. So yes, tossing a JDAM would absolutely be possible and would be a good way of employing it. But yeah, no way to do it with a JSO. You would totally mess it up. I think you'd make the JSO very upset if you tried to toss it. Just use cruise missiles, says Tog. Well, yeah, of course. You can, if you have a SLAM or a SLAM ER, you don't need to do any of these things, of course. However, keep in mind that cruise missiles can absolutely be shot down. More advanced surface-to-air missile systems like S-300, S-400, Pantsir, Patriot, etc., are perfectly capable of shooting down something like a harm, should they be present. So, I'm not aware of any surface-to-air missile systems that can shoot down bombs. So while these employment methods are very inaccurate, they also can't really be intercepted, which is cool. Sim Hut was just being clever. It never occurred to me. Yep. You could definitely toss a JDAM. That is absolutely possible. Cool. So that is, in fact, all the news that we have for this week. It wasn't such a big news week, but there were some bits and bobs. The Kfir also obviously being a really, really exciting new development, and very excited to see continued really cool new features coming to the F-16. It's a very important aircraft for DCS, it's a very important aircraft for VAF, and it's nice to see it continuing to see development work. Better than Bug for Seed now? I would suggest that's always been the case. Yeah, the Viper's always been better for Seed than the Hornet, both IRL and in the sim. Sim, tossing a JDAM from behind a hill could be a viable tactic. It absolutely is a viable tactic. And in fact, back in the Falcon 4 BMS days, we used to do stuff like that all the time. Sim Taylor, any word on Cola? It was only announced last week. So, my suspicion would be that we're going to see it. Well, they've not even announced when we should see it, but you know, at the very earliest, I would think end of the year. Quite likely going to be next year. So I would not expect to hear much more about that just yet. Chat, continue to fire questions into the chat there. I'm always monitoring it. This is now the opportunity to talk a little bit about the VAF, the Virtual Air Force. It's an online squadron that was originally formed by myself and dotChuckles. It's a opt-in, well, a kind of milsim optional online squadron that we formed. You can join as a freelancer and fly whatever you want and fly whenever you want without any need for mandatory training. Or alternatively, you also have the option to join one of our numbered squadrons, and we currently have squadrons for the A-10, the Harrier, the F-14, the F-16, the F-18, and the Apache, potentially with more coming later. And in those squadrons, we have mandatory basic training and also the ability to acquire additional qualifications as time goes on. We've got qualifications for things like nighttime operations, air-to-air refueling, etc., etc. So it's a great place to come and fly DCS with a like-minded group of really quite chill, cool people. We've never really had any of the kind of drama or problems that you see with a lot of online groups. A lot of really cool, mature people. We're always looking for more pilots for all of those squadrons. We're also always looking for people to do air traffic control, mission commanding, JTAC, so on. So if you're into any of that stuff, please come and join our Discord. The link is in the chat now, and there's also a link in the show notes below for those of you watching this after the fact. Tog, not convinced S300 and S400 are capable of shooting down things after their performance IRL in Ukraine. That being said, pimp the VAF. Well, you know, I can only tell you what the datasheet says. The datasheet says they can do it. And like in games like CMO, I've seen it do it. I don't know how much that is. Patrick, I joined the VAF last week. Welcome to the VAF. Fantastic. Byron, yay for Kfir. Colombia represent. Yes. Yeah, I would love to see more South American stuff in the sim. The South American Air Forces have so much cool aircraft. I really want to see some of the stuff Brazil has. Brazil has some very interesting upgraded aircraft. Argentina as well, and I'm sure that the others have got really cool stuff. Is it Argentina that has the upgraded A4s, actually? Which look really, really cool. Tog, not surprised to be honest, F4 is a big bird to develop. Channel Right, hi, would anyone like to see a Southern African map? Have there ever been any major air conflicts in that part of the world? I honestly don't know. But yes, yeah, it'd be cool to see any new maps, to be honest. All of them are welcome and kind of exciting. So yes, please join the VAF. Even if you just want to come along and talk about food, we've got a channel where people are exchanging recipes. So all are welcome. Click that Discord link. Come hang out with myself, dotChuckles, and everyone else. Yes, yeah, I thought I was right, fair. The A4AR, that thing is freaking awesome. Because the A4 is a great airframe, and then to pack it with modern technology, yeah, those are really interesting aircraft. I would love to see those simulated one day. I guess they're quite niche because Argentina, I think, are the only people who fly them, but they're very cool. So, yeah, I've been Deepak. Every week on a Saturday, I release a new tutorial video. Today, it wasn't a tutorial video, actually. I guess I shouldn't say that. I'm normally doing these tutorial series. I was doing the Hornet, but the Hornet's weapons, which is what I'm going through now, have proven to be too buggy, sadly. Yeah, I've had terrible troubles with the Harpoon, the Slam ER. They all like work on a basic level, but I'm trying to demonstrate all the modes and all the features. And when I drill down into some of the more advanced functionality, they don't work. The most recent one I had with the Harpoon was it would shoot straight up into orbit and then just kind of hang. So I'm having terrible trouble. So perhaps once that's fixed, I'll go back to the Hornet and complete that tutorial series. However, in the meantime, I'm going to have a look at some community mods. Today it was the Super Tucano. Next week, who knows? Something else. I'm going to look at the A4, the C-130, and the Black Hawk, sorry. Whichever one takes my fancy, I'll do next week. So that should be a good laugh. So yeah, I've been Deepak. I always do a video on a Saturday, a premiere, followed by the DCS news, which just happens to be this thing, what you are watching right now. Please consider subscribing, liking, commenting. It's a really big help to me and to the channel. Things are going from strength to strength. It was only a few weeks ago that we surpassed 5,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for your support, everyone. It's absolutely fantastic. So, all that leaves me to say now is, yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I guess I'll see you all next time. And in the meantime, fly safe.